Now you're on. Go.
Okay. Nelson Mandela died right after the shuttle exploded.
Which was what, like 87, 88?
87, I believe.
Yeah, with the teachers on.
Okay, that piece that I saw in the second episode, that was something else. It showed up again, and it's some other equipment. It is not a crystal so far, but I'm sitting here, I'm watching it, and I'm like determined to find the crystal in every episode. And I haven't scoured one of these episodes well enough to actually attempt to do that, and there's just no way. Somebody left a message and said that it shows up, the first time it shows up is in season 1, I believe they said, episode 13. So I'm on 10 now. I just can't. I don't want to get into it, and it's kind of happening. It's like I kind of, I remember how I felt watching this, and I remember how I felt when the series ended. I'm like, I don't need to be putting these feelings back. It's funny. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, okay, it was an experience. I experienced those emotions, those feelings when I was still giving that energy away. And it's somewhat happening now. I'm not getting dumped into it. I'm not getting pulled into it, but I'm feeling it. I'm recalling memories, I guess. And now, there's something behind Picard in episode 10 in his ready room. It's right after the credits. I mean, I guess I can get my phone and show it, but it's just pointless. I'm not going to sit here and do this. This thing could, but it's in a shadow. And if that's the case, if it is, most of the time, in this screen, you've seen how big it is. I mean, and I'm still having trouble determining whether it's a crystal or not. And I really think this could be. But, and if it ends up being a crystal, and if I find that there's a crystal in an episode where it's just really quick in the corner, I could see myself go ahead and try and find the crystal in every episode, because I really think there's a crystal behind him.
That's it right there, and when he gets up, you could see it plain as day. Episode 10. Sure looks like a crystal to me. No, I'm joking. You can stand still if you want. It's actually a video. Actually, what I should say is the first one that answers correctly gets the free beer. So this is the time thing too, all right? You ready? What color is a yield sign? Who said red? Who said red? Red and white is right. How come? Now wait a minute. You're like, how come it's not?
It's not yellow. It's yellow.
It used to be yellow. Your consciousness shifted into a timeline where it hasn't been yellow since 1972.
All right, episode 10, right after the opening credits, they go into Picard's ready room, and there's a crystal behind him in the shadow, and when he stands up, you could see it plain as day. All right, I'm going to put it up. So I was watching a few videos. I come across one. This channel has been up for 4 months. It's got about 180. I think it's 186 videos. Merkaba Carpet. He's got a video here that is 5 days old. There's only 50 hits. He's got one I see that's over 100 hits. It's really great info, but this one particular video is his daughter. She's talking about how when you speak, it's going to come true. And I really recommend listening to this child. She's beautiful. Her voice is beautiful. I'm sure she's a beautiful child. I'm loving what I'm hearing. I went back to his first video as well. It's every few days. It's random, just like I put them out every few days, and they're all 10-minute videos, 15-minute videos, maybe a 20 here or there. I recommend this channel. Let's see if I can. Merkaba Carpet.
Johnny Walker.
All right.
How do you spell Johnny? And Johnny Walker.
Okay.
How do you spell Johnny?
Oh, Jonny.
You want to grab that Johnny Walker bottle for me and hand that thing? It's in the back behind the mirror. To the right. To the right, to the right. It's probably like over
They
there.
don't even exist in this timeline.
That's the black. That's the
That
black.
is the black one.
What's that? Oh, JOHNNIE.
No, I don't know. I'm trying. Oh, you know what? Tom Cruise movie with the vampires. What's it called? Interview something?
Interview
with a vampire.
With what?
With the vampire.
Like she's not saying.
Interview with a vampire.
With a vampire or the vampire?
With a vampire.
A vampire.
Now we're going.
Interview with
The
5 vampires.
5 vampires.
The vampire.
The vampire, a vampire. It is.
A vampire.
It is the vampire in this in this timeline.
What? That's just not my night.
TV show with the 4 girls running around New York City.
Friends.
Sex in the City.
Sex in the City, he says. What's it called? New York City.
Sex in the City.
Sex in the City.
Sex and the City.
Sex and the City. It is Sex and the City in this timeline. I know, man. I've never been so sorry that I was not able to tape the conversation I just had.
You're gonna ask who's the if the mirror on the wall asks you who's the fairest of them all, it actually said that in the movie. That's what you're gonna ask me, right?
I was going to ask you the whole line. What does it say? What's the whole line?
The whole line says mirror. No, it doesn't say mirror.
No.
Well, the whole line, because the whole thing has changed.
I don't live in that.
But you seem to know. That's why I'm asking. Now that you know I have this thing on, you're on the spot. So I know. I don't have the camera on.
I mean,
It's not on you. Yeah, just take a breath, and what do you remember it being? That's all.
What I'm supposed to remember it saying is mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all, but it doesn't say that.
That is correct. Exactly what you say is what you're supposed to remember, but
But
it
that's
doesn't.
not what it all
But is that
says.
what you used to remember before you heard about the Mandela effect?
that guy right there.
Yes.
Okay.
That fucking guy.
Good enough.
Yeah, that guy.
But it's, I think, what is it now? It's Magic Mirror. Magic Mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest one of all?
They give you a fucking.
That's what it actually says.
That's what it is now. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, the Kit Kat.
Kit Kat have a dash. And you said, yeah. You said no.
No, I think I thought.
She said it used to.
When they're lunar cruisers.
I don't think I actually answered that question. I think I was.
You really answered it twice, and I wish I would have had that tape. You don't even remember answering the question. That's pretty
I
wild.
don't know.
You
Must be a shift going through here.
go down 7.
Oh, I said blank blank on the wall,
Show, and here's
you-
the
Oh,
question.
Magic Mirror.
and she said
Would
magic
either
mirror
one of
straight
you
up.
go on the show?
I don't know. You want to be filmed? You want I put you
What's
on?
the question?
What color's a yield sign?
Yellow.
Okay. Yeah. You already know that, right?
Got that, right?
It's red. It hasn't been yellow since 1972.
A yield sign?
Is that, how messed up is that?
Really?
Yeah. Is that messed up? Because it's always been yellow, right?
Yeah.
As for me
Yellow
too.
black.
Not anymore. Not ever, actually, in this timeline. Your consciousness shifted into another timeline. Okay, here you go. Jaws line. Line and Jaws. Blank. Gonna need a bigger boat.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Blank gonna have a need a... Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll give you multiple...
Oh, a Jaws line.
Yeah, in
I
Jaws.
had no idea.
It was either you're going to need a bigger boat, or I'm going to need a bigger boat, or we're going to need a bigger boat.
No lines. Another question. Another question.
No, what is it?
It's you're going to need a bigger boat.
Okay,
But I
'cause
remember
I knew it was a singular.
I like where you're going with the whole singular plural thing, because the adult diaper, the famous adult diaper, is called begins with a D.
Depends. Yeah, depends.
You're saying depends. He's saying depends. So which one is
depends.
with an S on the end or no? Yes, with an S on the end. Singular, no S.
I say plural.
In this timeline, it is singular, no S.
Really?
Yeah, is that messed up or
Come
what?
on,
I'm
man.
telling you, don't look it up. Don't look it up because it'll freak you out. Problems, but no. See, I say Oreos. Oreo, double stuffed Oreo. And now, sorry, buddy. Double stuffed Oreo. I can't picture an S on the end of that. But double stuffed Oreo. It's not making it for me. What was that, Prince? What'd you say, boy? Oh, really? That's good. They want more kitty. Okay, let's get you something to eat.
Yeah, and this whole Picard crystal, I had a choice, go through every episode and find the crystal in every single episode. And I think I would have. I mean, this thing showed up in episode 10. I'm being told the first episode is 13. Haven't made it quite that far because I'm just not interested anymore. I mean, now for me, it's like as strong as JFK, and that's it. Why did it bother me so much? I took it personal. I had a crystal like that back in April of 2017, and a few months back, and I lost it. It's very similar to that crystal. I owned that thing for a long time. I held that crystal the week or so I was in pain in 2015 when I would just curl up on the bed from being in pain. And my understanding of it now would be that I shifted. I mean, it was a big shift, shifted into a timeline, shifted into another body. My consciousness was getting used to this body. I mean, my L5 was fine. The left side of my body was fine. The right side was in pain for a week, gone. I mean, my back is as strong as ever, where I had problems before with it. But I had this crystal. I held this thing. I would put this thing on my head if I was getting feverish or sick. Gone. This thing was with me always, and I misplaced it, lost it, and in April it was gone. And now when I see it and I'm thinking about it, it's not the exact same crystal. I mean, obviously. Is anything obvious though? But no, it's not the same crystal. But every time I see it in this guy's hand, I'm like, in these pictures and whatnot, I'm taking it personal. And my dominant consciousness here, it's about me and this reality, and this dimension, bubble, whatever. And I'm not being solipsistic about that, and I'm not being selfish in that way, because I know it's all about how I interact with other people, but it's about how I interact with other people. But anyway, I think I took it personal with all that, and so I'm letting that go. Let it go. I heard that somewhere recently, quite a few times. If I need to distract myself, I could see me picking a season or something and just putting on an episode, running through it, see if I could mess around with that. But it's not something I'm going to do. That was my choice, not to chase the crystal. But some of the things this child has said, Really got me thinking, especially about the serious part and distractions. And, how serious am I being if I let myself be distracted and I know I'm being distracted? Am I doing myself any favors? No, probably not.
I sat here, came out here, and asked this young lady some Mandela effect questions. She has not got one wrong. So we're going to start at the beginning. What color is a yield sign?
Red and white.
Okay, and what was some of the other questions? I don't know. I'm so messed up in the head. JFK, how many people? Oh, you didn't.
I said three.
Oh, you were really wrong about that.
Yeah.
Jeez, I wouldn't have done all this. I wouldn't have. Tony, she said Tony the Tiger's.
Mensa is the word I was looking
Tony the Tiger's nose. She said blue. 3 people yelled black.
So, what are we calling people that are part of the simulation? Assuming it's we're going with the simulation theory on this one. And, look, it's right up there. I just heard one that we're in a simulation. And that's why we can't wake up within the or outside of the simulation. Insanity. Sanity is insanity. Insanity is sanity. I have to get this. I've listened to him for quite some time. Great speaker. All right, so he calls them non-human characters. Okay, I've heard quite a few other things. You know how I said, wherever your dominant consciousness is, and people in my family, wherever their dominant consciousness is, I'm probably dead to them. So for my dominant consciousness, what they are to me, they're non-human characters. There's probably no one in your family. I shouldn't say that because everybody's going to be different. I think, I'm sitting here thinking about some people in my family. I think there might be a couple I could pick out that I could say are real, are souls. Okay, let's get off that whole maybe we're not souls and we're just here and that's how we exist, because that's how they exist. That's how the non-human characters exist. That's the only way they can exist. And I spoke with one today. It was him and 3 others, and the other 3 had their jaws were like, no, that's not true. And I'm like, yeah, and I'd show a picture or whatever, and they're like, and it didn't matter. This person would have an answer, and maybe not that quick, but they'd come up with an answer constantly, and it would not budge. I'm quite sure that's part of the program, wishing to stay alive, if you will. I don't know. The video that Sanity is Insanity did just really explains it well. I'm definitely linking that video. I really suggest watching that. I mean, I suggest watching a lot of people. No, that's not true. I don't call out. If I'm going to call out, it's in a video specifically. If I'm going to make a shout out or something. But, I've also noticed in my early videos, I recommended some people that I don't agree with watching them anymore. And some of them I still watch, and some I don't. I mean, but, that's where that is there. I'm leaving that. Those videos are basically for people who are just seeing these videos now and are kind of into what I'm doing. And I want people to see the progression that I went through, to see the conclusions that I've come up with that aren't quite even finished yet. They're always still growing. They're always still changing. And he's talking about how these people are just filling up space, and that's what they're doing. They're interacting. So if that's the case, and I'm tending to go in that direction, because that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the people around me and how many are real. And if we're shifting back and forth through dimensions, hey, one time this guy could be real, the next day it might not be. And the next day he could be back again. And I've noticed that too. I've noticed that with myself. Maybe not with myself, but the things that are around me. I mean, and that can be attributed to people being in a bad mood. Well, why are you waking up in a bad mood? Why, you're never in a bad mood, you. Yeah. Huh. And he said something, he wasn't sure about if there is a definitive way to figure out who's an AI and who's not. And to me, I would just say start asking the Mandela effects. Because, and maybe not all of them. I mean, maybe they're different too. They get defensive or have an answer for everything. And I spoke with someone tonight, and I'm going to clean it up a bit because it's a bit dramatic. This person, we spoke at the bar. I asked if I could film them and their story, and they said absolutely not. One of the reasons was because they feel that film and video take a piece of your soul. And I can understand that. I mean, I don't think it might be that strong, but, this person was like, I hate being in here because I know there's cameras in here. I'm like, well, okay. I mean, it might be a bit much, but I kind of understand where they're coming from. I'm not saying I believe that, but I'm saying I understand. So it seems like we're in a simulation. Okay, we're going to use the term from now. I mean, my theory on we're multidimensional beings shifting through timelines. Let's say we're multidimensional beings and we experienced a physical reality, and it may have been taken over by something. We may be in another program inside of that one. This parasite idea seems to be, I want to say growing. Seems to be coming out as different ideas. The same idea coming out from different directions. Cause for suspicion? I mean, why? Why would they? That I'm not sure that would make sense. But this idea that we're in a simulation, inside a simulation, and I mean, do we want to get out? Are we trying to get out? What did he say? The way to get out? Yeah, buddy. The way to get out is to not participate. Now, that might not have been the last video I was looking at. Hey, did you? All right. You comfortable? Let's see. Yeah, this isn't real. I feel it. You're not going to budge, all right? Oh, okay, you got to move that one leg. Attaboy. I don't even know what I was talking about. Let's see. Should be easy enough. Yeah. Ooh, okay. Better. I guess deciding who, what an AI is, which one's AI, which is not. If you start questioning them or start a conversation where it's going to bring out the truth or expose them, they fight back. They resist. So I think that would be one way to figure that out. I'm trying to think about the people around me and the people that I've had confrontations with who I've just, tossed away, basically. The people that are really close to me around here. I'll talk about the Mandela effect and they go right along with it. There's nobody everybody's been affected in here. And it's always no way. No way that didn't change. And it's funny because I'll bring up like somebody today. I wonder if I have that taped. Talking by and they said, Lucy. I said, no, what they said? They said, you got some explaining to do, Lucy. And I walked over and said, here you go. That was never said in any of the shows. And then I went into the whole thing, probably talked to them for a half hour, and that's the one guy that was just, yeah, he was, see, I don't know. Could it be that his mind just needed to justify everything because he's enjoying his physical reality? Deep down somewhere he knows, well, no, I don't want to know the truth. I mean, that could be too, right? I don't know, because if deep down you know the truth, you're probably thinking, no, I don't want to be stuck here deep down. Glad I'm putting my thoughts out like this after a good video. Because Insanity is Sanity is the name of his channel. I totally flip-flopped that. Listen, I've been listening to him for about a year. I mean, probably not every video. I don't think I've seen anybody's videos straight through. And he also mentions that, this, how does he put it? So he said it, well, this could be part of the simulation. This, the things, it might not be let me say, I should do this and listen to it as I'm going. It might not be the virus. It might be part of the simulation for us to believe it's a virus. And I worded that as, maybe this is how we're supposed to live. Maybe this is what physical reality is. It's weird how I brought up the other day, that maybe we don't have souls, or, this is just what it is, for the non-human characters, that is what it is. But for us here, learning and trying to figure this out and discovering these things, I'm going to go with the term soul. I'm going to say we have souls, and we probably chose to come here. I don't, I've read things where some entities were manipulated to come here, but when you get down to it, you manipulate yourself to come here anyway. So, so at least for me, I feel like I've said it a few times, we could take 3 or 4 of these theories, put them all together, and say this is what it is. When the parasite idea came up, I've heard a couple other channels talk about it, and now him, and I was like, wow, okay. So, but it might not be. That might be part of the program. That was the part I liked, because I feel like, yeah, maybe this is what we're supposed to go through to experience, to grow, to learn, and etc. See, this whole thing, this is totally becoming a distraction. Not even becoming, it was from the beginning. Leave one distraction and jump into another. No, I can't let that happen. I have to find out what the next distraction will be. I've never been so sorry that I was not able to tape the conversation I just had. I've had 3 or 4 things happen tonight alone, showing me, or at least how I'm interpreting these things, that we're in a simulation. 2 videos that I've watched. The conversation I had at the bar. Some of the people I interacted with as non-human characters, or the shadow people, or maybe that might not be the right word, the robots. walking around, the automatons that are part of the program. I've had so many of these, I don't know, experiences tonight alone. I'm thinking, okay, it may be that. It may be that, and we may be inside a program, according to what Sanity is Insanity said, as far as that's why we can't wake ourselves up with outside of the program. And I just find that fascinating. And I don't want to get too wrapped up into anything, but I really like a lot of the things he's saying. I've said very similar things, just different terminology, and not much different. I was told that they saw the simulation, and they know they're in a computer program. Said it was, I forget the word they used. It was like a duct, and like an air duct. So they looked up, and it was there, and that quickly it disappeared, sort of like it just vanished, like it evaporated. And that wasn't long ago. And this person's absolutely sure we're in a simulation. All right, I was just going over one of my videos, and I was on a tear where I was talking about my family and where their dominant consciousness is. You know, I may be dead to them. And where I'm at interacting with them here, they are just part of the program. Their dominant consciousness isn't in that. There's a point I wanted to make. I was saying the only way that the non-human characters can exist is to just constantly get recycled back into the program. But for us souls, that's not what we're doing. Members of your family, I can see where a lot of them are just non-human characters in my dimension. If they are actually real, have a soul, they're in another dimension with me as a non-human character. Okay, I think that was the way to say it. Yeah, so their soul is off doing their thing, not in your dimension. In your dimension, it's your soul that matters. And how you interact with others, because their dominant consciousness, the people around you, the people that interact with you, probably a lot of the people you're interacting with on the computer are close to your dominant soul. Are they all real? I don't know. This has all been speculation right from the beginning anyway. Most of it through experience. This is through experience too, with me interacting with these non-human characters and being able to pick them out by asking certain questions. The next time I come across someone who just isn't getting the Mandela effects, we're trying to blow them off at every turn, I'm going to try and pull them aside. Just me and him, and just talk. And just see if I could pull something out of them, or see if he'll open up. You never know, right? We're going to have this incredible conversation, and the conclusion is none of this is real and you can't die. Where do you go with that? Well, just enjoy it. And I'm like, because I'm asking, I'm like, well, are we stuck? She goes, some people are. It was amazing that when I would ask a question, the insight that this woman had was just amazing. And I don't think she sees it. I don't think she sees how brilliant she is. I don't think and I don't know if it's, just from the experiences she had or whatever. Because it's like with me, I explained how, my family in this timeline, half of, their consciousness is somewhere where I've died. That's where their main consciousness is. And she's like, doesn't that
bother you? Doesn't that hurt you? I'm like, no, why? They still exist. They're alive. I'm alive. It doesn't matter. They're happy. Everybody's happy. Who cares? Everybody's getting through it their own way. You know, so what's it matter? She also came. Yeah.
John's here.
Oh, nice. Shirt guy. Concoctions. What's up, bro?
How are you?
Best day of my life.